What's up, Exiles? Willy Wonka here, and today I would like to talk a bit about the base types. It's all about that base. In the game, for a long time, there was no implicit values that were really noteworthy except for daggers. And then along came the Harbinger. The Harbinger of crit. They would give you 50% implicit crit chance, and that changed everything. This implicit crit chance would affect your local crit chance and allow you to get up to 9.4% local crit chance on your bow. And compared to the other bows at the time, that was a game changer. And with that much crit chance, you only need 1,010 crit chance, roughly, to get 95% crit chance, which is capped. With all the other bows and the current bows in the game, except for the Harbingers and the same base type, you can get up to 6.9 crit chance on the base, and then you need 1,376% crit chance to reach the same end goal of 95% capped critical strike chance. And just to put that into perspective, that's a difference of 366 crit chance, which is the equivalent of 8 true strike nodes if you just look at the crit chance, or up to 18 20% crit nodes, which is really nuts. Or you could say it's the equivalent of having 12 diamond rings on your hand. I like that one better. I like that one better. So the difference between bows has been huge, and you almost never see anyone use anything except for a Harbinger, and that's really sad to me. I would like to see more implicits being implemented, but the other ones that have been implemented and some of the ones that are coming in right now are kind of underwhelming. So I'm sad that it's just gonna make people bias towards one weapon rather than the next, just because it's just agreed upon that it's the best weapon in the game, right? So if you look at maybe the Maraketh weapon that was implemented alongside the Harbinger, I think it gives like 12% increased weapon elemental damage, and the bow has, I'm taking this off the top of my head here, it's got like 1.35 attack speed. Nobody is gonna use that over the Harbinger or even the Thicket bow, because it has fucking shit attack speed. So when you're going elemental builds, you want to have really high attack speed, right? So that really doesn't make any sense. But now they're removing the Maraketh bow, and they're implementing a new one. And this one is called the same thing. It's called a Maraketh bow, and it gives 6% movement speed. You can see that increased in attack speed. It's got 1.4 attack speed, which is nice. It's got okay damage. It's got 5% crit chance. But I think it's still going to be the case where nobody, unless you get crazy lucky in a high-level map and roll like a batshit insane Maraketh bow, you're never, ever gonna use this bow. 6% is so negligible that, yeah, I'm never gonna throw a piece of currency on this ever. So I think, like, for this one, I would like to see them not J. Wilson it, but maybe even triple it or quadruple it. If this had 200% movement speed, like the same as Devotee's Devotion, I think that might make people interested. It's a little bit slower than the best weapon elemental bows. It's a little bit weaker in crit and power as the crit bows. But maybe if you make the right build and you make some sacrifices, make some compromises, it's going to increase your clear speed because you're going to move faster, right? But with 6% movement speed, no way. They could easily put this up to 15-20%. Hell, if they put it at 30, I think people are going to be using these a lot over the Harbinger. But still, people are going to be using the Harbinger because it's just so good. So I'm going to be going just through all the different items, I think. I have different varying opinions on some of them. Some of them I don't really have an opinion on because I have less experience with those base types, but let's just go through them, and I hope this is going to encourage some discussion, and maybe it will come to the attention of the developers of the game. So if you look at the new dagger the new dagger axe that's in line with the Harbinger. I'm a little bit afraid. That it's going to be too good compared to the other axes, though. They are rebalancing all the base types, changing the attack, speed, the crit chance, and the base damage of all the weapons. So I can't really go on to the Live Realms and compare the Maraketh weapons to them. But you could expect this dagger axe to have a little bit lower damage than the other axes in the game in the end, but it's probably gonna be the best weapon if you go crit. Like no doubts about it. It's gonna be the shit. This is gonna be the new Harbinger of axes. So it makes me a little bit scared, makes me a little bit sad to see this, because nobody is going to use the other axes if they go crit. You could go a little bit of crit and it's still going to be better. So they probably have to be careful and maybe nerf the damage a little bit of the axe, so it requires some more effort to make it better, or implement new implicit stats on the other axes. I think something like the new one-handed axe will give you implicit physical damage, and if they implemented this on all the other two-handed base weapons, it's probably gonna make people still want to go Resolute Technique axe build over the crit build, and then maybe do Resolute Technique crit, non-crit build up until late game, and then switch to the dagger axe once they have the required gear to make it better than the other weapons. I don't know. I'm just pulling at straws here. But I really like this new dagger axe. I'm going to definitely be playing it, but I'm worried it's going to outshine the other axes in the game right now. The Moon Staff, the new staffs, looking pretty sexy. It's a trade-off between block chance, which for some might not be worth it, but I'm really happy about this because I've been hesitant to use staffs for a very long time. Wands and shields will give you above 200% crit chance, and it also gives you a lot of spell damage and fast speed and good defense and stuff. So now, with the addition of implicit global crit, I might go some kind of spellcaster with staffs, because you get 2 6 links. The staff can roll +3 skills. I think this is going to be really, really cool. I'm very much looking forward to it. And with also the changes to shotgunning, shotgunning is not going to be in the game anymore, and that's going to require a lot of people to get 1 AoE skill and 1 single target skill. So having 2 6-links is always a good thing with no shotgunning in the game. So that's a nice little item there. I like it. I love it. The new thrusting swords, bleed on hit, pretty cool. It's a trade-off between increased global critical strike multiplier, which was on the old weapons, and the chance to bleed. And they're also adding a new gem called Bloodlust, which will give you another multiplier for your damage. There are passives in the tree that increase your bleed damage, or damage on bleeding targets. So, I think it's cool. It's going to allow you to not have to use Puncture on everything all the time, and use other attacks instead. So, I don't really have anything else to say about this than I think it's cool. And then we have the new claws. Currently in the game, the claws have life leech. Some of the lower bases have life cannon hit and stuff, but the higher, good, high-tier weapons have 3% and 6% leech. And this one is looking pretty darn sexy with good base crit chance. It's got great attack speed, and it gives you life gain and mana gain on hit. And I think a lot of people are excited about this. It's going to allow you to go elemental claw builds because of the base and the good attack speed, and you don't have to be mad that you don't get to take benefit from the life leech and the mana leech that the physical builds can. You don't have to be mad, guys. You now have the Moon Claw. So this is cool. It's probably going to allow you to do some weird shit with the new Eldritch Battery, and yeah, it's cool. I like it. And this is yeah, it's just a great addition to the current claws in the game. The new Ancient Blade is pretty darn sexy. The current swords in the game give accuracy, and this one is like the harbinger of the two-handed swords. It gives you global crit multi, and it gives you a lot. And the swords have pretty decent base crit to begin with, so you can easily go a crit build with this, and it's going to be interesting to see if people want to go Dagger Axe, or do they want to go Katana Ancient Blades instead. So the swords are going to give you that really high damage, and the Dagger Axe is going to give you that consistency instead. Personally, I'm leaning more towards the consistency of the crits with Dagger Axe, but this is awesome. But compared to some of the other additions, like swords with accuracy, kind of underwhelming. Crit multi, wow, really strong. And then you look at some of the other ones that are kind of, look at the Dragon Mace, for example. It gives you implicit local attack speed. The maces in the game already are pretty darn slow, so this is nice. I don't think it's going to turn any heads and make people play mace builds, but maybe, if this was increased to maybe 12% and then lower the damage or something, or hell, remove the crit chance, then more people would try it. But yeah, maces have always been very slow, and that's a huge turnoff for the players. So I like this one. Maybe we'll see some more Glacial Cascaders. I mean, Glacial Hammer builds. Moving on, we've looked at the Maraketh bow, really dumpster. Tiger Hook. I think it's called fishing hook at the lower levels. This one gives you 5% increased global defenses. This is a one-handed sword, and it's really, really underwhelming. This is a piece of shit. I don't really understand this one compared to the other, like Dagger Axe, Harbinger, the Katanas. What? What is this? What is this? Global defenses means evasion, entity shield, and armor. I'm pretty sure if it affects something else, then it might be good, but I think it only affects like 3 different ways of defending yourself. And 5%, that's like picking up a 5% armor node if you're an armor character, which probably don't even exist on the tree because most of them are like 10%. So this one could easily be doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and then you do it again because this is trash tier. Moving along, Sacrament Wand. The new wands, I love them. They usually have 20% spell damage implicit, and trading off 20% spell damage for 6% cast speed, completely reasonable. And some builds favor cast speed over spell damage. So, yep, nice. Nothing to say about that really. New axes, yeah, the one-handed axes, more physical damage, really badass. A little bit worried about them outshining the other one-handed axes just completely, but we'll see. Demon Scepter, damage penetrates 2% elemental resist. The lower ones have 1%, I think, unless it's something you have to roll and use Bless Orbs on. But this is a nice trade-off for 20 elemental damage, which is currently on Scepters, or 15 in some cases. And I think more people are going to favor this over the other Scepters, unless you're some kind of burn build or something like that. Even then, this might still be better. And then one of the items I have my biggest gripe with is the maces. I'm a big mace guy, and the current stat on the weapon is the stun duration. Stun threshold is the real, it's the money, it's what you really want if you want to stun people. But once you get end game and you get good gear and good weapons, you do enough damage to stun pretty much everything except for high HP unique mobs. So stun duration, I don't really know how much it's worth. If you attack really fast, you don't really need it. And then you look at this, and let's compare 6% radius of area skills to the Harbinger. So the Harbinger, we calculated, would give you the equivalent of 18%. I mean, 20% crit nodes, which is maybe not a comparison I should make, but it's funny to highlight it. And then 6% radius of area skills is equivalent of 1.5-4% AoE nodes. Of course, AoE might be harder to get somewhat and more valued, but 6%, I think I've seen one of these rolled up to 10%. I'm not certain. I'm not going to confirm that before I make this video, because fuck it. But if they made this 15%, or maybe even 20%, that would be nice. But 20% might be too much, yeah. 10 or 15 is probably enough. But in line with the other ones, it kind of It lacks that oomph that the other ones has. But oh well. Oh well. And then we also have the new daggers that give you up to 6% implicit block chance. New daggers are completely insane compared to what the other ones gives. It's more comparable to the Harbinger, in my opinion, and the dagger axe and the multiplier sword, and yeah, it's just insane, dude. After they changed block and made it more difficult to cap out, they reduced the values of the shield so you get less block chance, and they reduced the amount of nodes you get in the tree. So now, if you want to get capped block, you have to do something like this, where you get all the block chance nodes in the tree. You start Scion, you grab this, you get this, get that, get the down here, get the ranger stuff, get the sword nodes, and then up here. That will give you, oh man, how much is it? Like the 39 block chance or something, and then you use a high block chance shield. You can get up to 27% on a shield, and then you can roll 6% additional block chance as a suffix, and then you can use Tempest Shield and cap out your block. And you can also corrupt an amulet with 4% block chance. You can use a Bringer of Rain. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but just doing it through passives and normal gear, this is how you do it, and with Tempest Shield. And you could value the dagger with 6% block to the equivalent amount of nodes it takes you to travel to the furthest nodes. So let's just look at this. This is that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nodes that I could remove there potentially if I equip the dagger, and then I'll have more block even. If we don't want to do that, we can remove this, which is that's 1, 2, 5 block chance. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 nodes you could remove potentially by equipping that dagger. Of course, you're losing potentially 80% global crit chance, so you have to calculate that into there. But it's pretty crazy how much you're able to save by equipping these weapons, and how strong they are. Passive nodes are they're high value in my opinion. Being able to save 2 or 3 nodes by changing out a gear piece is huge. It's major. So I hope this will cause some discussion among you guys, and maybe bring it to the attention of the developers. Maybe you guys have better ideas than I came up with. I just figured I'd make a video about it because I've been thinking about it a lot. And I guess in conclusion, what I want to say is just, I hope they take a good look at some of the base types, because it makes such a difference for me as a player when deciding what kind of weapon I want to choose for my build. And it's always fun having that very special weapon that's very much different from the other ones, and it completely makes your character. So I'm excited for a lot of the base types. Some of them are base types I'm never going to use, I'm never going to look at because they're so dumpster trash. But I'm remaining hopeful, and I hope we're going to be able to talk about this and bring it to the light of GGG. And also, some of the old bases really deserve some love. Some of the implicit values there are kind of underwhelming as well. And I think the whole system just needs a rework. And now that we're playing beta, we should really tell them what we think about the game in the current state. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was just me rambling. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, like I said. And I hope you guys get into the beta. I'll be praying for you. Otherwise, I'll see you at launch in the expansion in Highgate. You have a nice day, Exiles. Peace out.